Well, good morning, everybody. So you're either a late night person or an insomniac, a maniac, or you're an early morning person. It is really early. Or you see, oh, you notice in here it says episode, can you believe that? 584. Episode 584, late night. Or early morning. It's late night. We'll just say late night. I get more people that haven't gone to sleep yet or have been to sleep, and then they get up at midnight and they go downstairs and turn on the internet when they're not supposed to and have a cup of coffee with Jimmy. I'm having a fresh cup of morning blend. It's an experiment today because I'm, instead of using Publix fine, super fine grained sugar, I'm using, it's a bar term, it's called simple syrup. And basically what it is it's cane syrup. You know, it's cane sugar dissolved in pure water. And you put a squirt in there and that's it. You don't have to worry about the crystals falling to the bottom and being, you know, undissolved. You can make your own. I just decided to buy, to waste $10 and buy 2 bottles of this stuff. That's an experiment. I was going to put one in the refrigerator and keep one warm and one cold, in case you wanted to squirt simple syrup in something cold. Can't imagine what that would be. Maybe I won't bother. Yeah. My wrist alarm is going off for some reason. Low sleep score. How about no sleep score? It's 1:21 and I'm still yakking. Yeah. I did take a little nap on the couch. It's so late night. My little puppy is sleeping on a cushion that I'm normally sitting on the couch. Stretched out, you know, 2 legs this way, 2 legs here, 2 legs there, a body here. Just like I was standing up and I just this. Someone has to tell me what the there is some psychological difference between a dog sleeping in a ring, you know, like in prenatal position, and sleeping like a park bench turned down. I don't know how else to explain it. Do I have a picture of my park bench turned down? Let's see. Can't believe I don't have a picture of that. I got a picture of every other darn thing. Let's see. I'll go through my picture for you now. You know, after a while, you kind of get this is terrible. I have to tell Marilyn, don't take pictures of me with uncompromising, ugly pictures. Please, don't show me ugly. And what that means is Let's see if I can show you. And, let's really look at this. Look at that cute puppy face. Oh yeah. That's my Cavalier King Charles. Somewhere in this picture is a dog. God help me. Yeah, that's pretty bad. There is a dog sleeping on my head. Apparently fell asleep with my glasses on also. Jeez. Don't tell anybody. That's it. Sunday at 10 a.m. Wow. Yeah. All right, here we are. The reason why we're here at this hour is Mega Millions. It says Tuesday, April 7, 100 million. You know what that means? No one won the $90 million one. So 31, 45, 62, 62, 63, 68. Wow. There you go. That's it. Powerball, not Powerball. Mega Millions, well, 15. So what do? We take that and insert it right there. 31, 45, 62, 63. Mega Millions ball. 15. Yeah, huh? Oh well. The hell with you. The broadcast will run without you. Facebook just bailed out on me. What's going on with Facebook? There we go. There you go. So I basically inserted. So now we have the $100 million rollover. All right. But it's the $90 million one. Didn't produce a winner. And why? Because the lowest ball is 31. Can you imagine? Balls 1 through 30. We're not in the mix. Just 31 through 70. The odds, you know, if you can pick your numbers that way, the odds of winning are a lot better. Yeah. Because you cut down the number of balls by, almost 50%. So it makes it 100 million to 1. Yeah. Dude. The winning odds are like so terrible. It's like taking 5 hours and flushing it in the toilet. But it's good for education, James. If the state of Florida would use it for education, I'd be happy. But what they did, since these lotteries are so popular, they use all these monies in education, but they cut the fundings that they normally would have put in from the regular budget into education. Well, now they don't do that, or they do it less. So, it's functionally the same. It's taking the lottery money, spending it on something. Anyway, let's talk about the $100 million deal here. Just where, as my son says, shits and giggles. It's late night. Put the kids to bed. All right, here we are. Jackpot lump sum. Notice the caption at the top. I've taken, special care. Yeah, we're just going to stick. I've taken special care to label these captions. Label the column. So here's the column. You go over here. Mega Millions draw date. Okay. Mega Millions April 07. The next column, jackpot to a single winner. Assuming a single winner. Yeah, you can divide everything by... if there's two, just divide everything in half. Roll over. We don't have the numbers yet. In bold red letters. Hard to... And there we go. If you elect the jackpot lump sum payout before taxes, that's the net present value of the future cash flows. Because what happens when they've created a lottery where the jackpot, the 100 million, is paid out over 30 payments, over 29 years, 30 payments, 29 years, 30 payments. What does that mean? You get a check on day one, and then you get 29 subsequent payments, where each payment is 5% larger than the previous payment. So the magic is to calculate the first payment, and then the equation for the next payment is 105% of the cell to the left. Yeah, that's how you build the spreadsheet. Anyway, we're just going to assume you're going to take the lump sum because you want to get your hands on that $45,200,000. Oh, no. Well, guess what? The long arm of Uncle Sam is going to grab the 24% withholding. Yeah, there is a regulation that says all lottery proceeds over $600 are subject to a 24% withholding tax, which means we're going to withhold it, and then you can try to come get it when you file your tax return. And that reduces $45,200,000 to a mere $34,352,000. A mere $34 million. Can you imagine? You call a branch manager at, TD Bank, and you say, good morning. I happen to have won the Florida lottery, the Mega Millions lottery, and the jackpot after withholding tax is $34 million. That's the cash deposit I'm going to be putting in my personal account. So when it slips in there, don't think it's a Scribner's error. It's 34,352,000. Yeah. Oh. We're going to be moving some of that money around as soon as I get home. But right now we're dumping it in my checking account. Okay? And tomorrow morning or the next morning, I'll start opening up. Well, we got the two boys down here, so we're going to transfer some money into those two accounts. So they're going to get big. Yeah. So since I have 4 accounts there at TD, yeah, we're going to be able to handle a lot of this stuff right at TD Bank. And what we might do instead of worrying about wire transferring money, I'm going to create TD accounts for everybody we're going to give money to. Just list them all. Get those social security numbers, whatever. Ask the young lady how we can just open up accounts in my name, and we'll add them to the signature. Yeah, we'll do that. And that way, you can just dump the money right in their accounts, and we can give them the login and the password. Yeah, and then they can go to TD Bank and screw them, Tell them that they can't take a joke. Yeah. Instead of us worrying about what their account number is, and what's the R&T number, and potential mistakes, and just open up the accounts right in my own thing. You can call it account 1, 2. No, you got to have a name on it. That's what I'm going to do. All we got to do, that's the easy part. All we got to do is win the 45 million. Or excuse me, the 34 million. And then, whoops. What do you mean, whoops? Well, 34 million, that's the number after withholding. Remember, you're going to be in the maximum tax bracket at 45 million for your ordinary income for 2026. Yep. You're going to be you're going to be assessed another 13%. That's why that 5,876,000 number is hanging out there in the breeze. Because you're going to have to, when you do your taxes in April of 2027, you're going to have to write Uncle Sam another check for 5.8 million. Here's what I suggest you do. You get your local calculator out. What was that? 5,872,000. Oh, that's a big number. Times 4%. No. 0.04 equals, 234,800. So you put that in an interest-bearing account, Truist, I have an account at Truist Bank. They're willing to sign you up for 4% interest on a money market account, what they call it. And if you parked that what are you doing? There you go. If you park that 5,876,000, excuse me, you'd end up with 230,000 in interest. You know, because it's about a year before you have to write them that check. So the net effect was from moving that over to the interest-bearing account is you got 28,476,000 left. That's the jackpot lump sum payout after all federal income taxes. Yeah, as we know it, about 37%, because of the great big, huge, big goddamn bill. Oops, sorry. Yeah. If you live in a state where there's state income tax, you might have to write another $5 million check to the state of New York, or the state of New Jersey, or the state of California, or the state of confusion. Because they like to tax and spend. The state of Florida, they run a Slim Jim ship. Bob. No state income tax. Plus, we get the benefit of about 1,000 people a day. Can you be honest? The 360 days. 1,000. It's actually more like 1,100 people a day moving into the state of Florida every day. Every day. Crossing the border and staying. Yeah. Renting a place, buying a place, opening up a business, who knows? They're not all a bunch of retirees, slugs that are doing nothing. No. Yeah, they sold their business at 68 years old. Come on, Sydney, open up a dry cleaner over here. Open up a coffee shop. A place where I can sell my knitting, whatever, you know. There was no state income tax in Florida, Texas, and I believe Tennessee. There may be another place. Yeah. If you want the look at the so here's the 100 million. Roll over. There we go. You can see the column captions on the top, and we can see the grand prize in the bottom. Now I'm just going to scroll. There's that 45 million too. There's that 34,352,000. There's that 5,000,008 you got to put in the side pocket because you have to pay the 13%. 24 plus 13 equals 37. That's not complicated math. 24% withholding, 13% additional because you're in the max tax bracket. Your tax bracket will be 37%. So you'll have a mere 28,000,004 netting in your checkbook. And you can figure out who gets what. Isn't that fun? Yeah, sure beats working. Or you could say, I'll elect the annuity. In which case you get $1,505,140 on day one. And then it'll be followed by 29 annual checks where each year it's a 5% increasing annuity. So the next one, 5 times 15, 75, would be $1,580,000. Okay, that would be the next year after $1,505,000. Because
it's 1:45.
There you go. There's the annuities looking all the way up. 100 million, 90 million, 80 million, 70 million, 60 million. They increased it apparently 100 million per rollover. To generate extra interest in Mega Million. Because remember, you got that 290 million to one reason why you're not going to win it. So in order to attract people to pay you $5 to not win something. But you get, if you get 2 of the balls, you get something. If you get 3 of the balls, you get something else. Increasing amounts. Yeah, so there's a bunch of other, each time they do one of these draws, the 5 balls, numbered 1 through 70, plus the Mega Million balls 1 through 24. Yeah. So when someone wins one of these lotteries, then it starts at 50 million, the following draw. Like on March 17th, the guy won $500 million. Somebody up north somewhere. Amazing. So then it rolls over the next drawing. I mean, a lottery doesn't go on vacation. They start, the lottery rolls over to 50 million. Before April of last year, it rolled over to, like 20 or 25 million, I forget which. So they decided, you know what? Let's start it at 50 million. Let's get people to get with the program. So they did, and people started playing Mega Million. And then it seems to go, if no one wins, then it rolls over to 60 million, then 70 million, then 80, then 90, then 100. Yeah. They step it up 10 million each time. And then the next time, it's based on the actual Mega Millions ticket sales. The projected ticket sales, I should say. I don't think the 100 million is based on projected ticket sales. I think they just plucked it. Now, if the projected ticket sales was higher than 100 million, they'd publish that. So this could roll over, if no one wins the Tuesday one, could roll over to like 115 million. So it'd go up 15 million, or 17 million instead of just the 10 million. Now, I don't know if they have like a minimum of 10 million that it would jump up. There's probably, some internal memos that describe all the different kinds of things I'm talking about. So just looking at headline news, not only did an F-15E get downed, but an A-10 Warthog got shot down by, a shoulder-mounted missile. Yeah, some scumbag has it underneath his bed, takes that out, and the Warthog is flying by, and he pulls the trigger. That's the end of the Warthog. They have, they have evasive maneuvers they do and this and that, but that heat-seeking missile is going to fly right up its butt and blow off an engine or a wing or something. I would take over the Iranian state TV also. Yeah. So it's $1,505,000. That's what their first payment is. Grows by 5% every year. With the final payment, and that's I only show one of the annuity payments. Let me show you the rest of them. I gotta do this. There we go. So now we're gonna go over. There's the $100 million one, right there, the top one. And I'm going to go straight across. See, annuity payment, 5% growing. Here's the first payment, 9,505. And the next one is $1,580,000 instead of $1,505,000. And the next one is $1,659,000. So you keep on looking at them. The 10th, the 12th, 2.8 million, 3.2 million, 3.9 million, 4.1. I was up all night calculating it. So with the rounding up and the rounding down, I got one of them real close. The reason why they're not on the button because I'm rounding. And the first one is rounded to the nearest $10. So if it was $14, it goes down. If it was $15, it rounds up. There's no halfway. There's no actual. We can't pay 40.495. It's either 49 or 50. If it's 50 and above, you round up. It's 49 and below, you go down. So that's why when you add them all up, since there's rounding going on, and the number's red because, just statistically speaking, because of the rounding, if I was the official lottery, which I'm not the official anything. I'm just showing you, this is show and tell. Jimmy doing a spreadsheet because I'm a math teacher. A frustrated math teacher that can't stop. I can't stop. So $100 million lottery, and I've only paid $99,999,765. So if I made that last payment of $6,195,000, I'd have to add $235 to it, so that it would equal 100 million. Yeah. So you just add the 235 to the last payment. If it's a black number, see the 90 million one, because of rounding. I would have overpaid $137. In which case, that's $5,575,000. You just take away $37, $137, and then it adds up to 90 million, and everyone's happy. When you win one of these lotteries, it's a contract, with the 45 states and the District of Columbia and the Virgin Islands. I understand. There are 223,000 lottery terminals. Can you believe it? In 45 states and 2 territorial areas, Washington, D.C. and the Virgin Islands. So there's a lot of math going on, with the ticket collections and the money that has to be paid to, so if Florida wins, then Florida becomes the lead. There is no, national headquarters for Mega Millions. I tried to find out if there was such a place. There is not. So if the ticket was sold in Florida, for example, then Tallahassee would be the main central location for the distribution and payment of either presenting. Let me shut down this. I'm going to shut down this. There we go. Every time there's a winner, I draw a line across, because then it revises back to 50 million. So there's no showing of all that stuff. So let me just bring that all the way over right to the edge. There we go. You notice the top line. I'll show it to you in a minute. Let me just bail out this. I have a habit of lousing up these. There you go. See, these are pictures. I can rotate them around, I think. Yeah. Can't do that in a spreadsheet. Plus, I can tap anywhere, and I can copy the number. If I hold it, I can highlight and copy it and so on. But I can't change the number. The number is embedded. So this next one, the second one, the first one has the annuity. You remember, it goes to like $6,500,000, the last payment. So if you can live on $1 million a year, what the hell? That's your, over 29 years, that's the sure way of getting 100 million. Or you can take the chance of taking a lump sum, and you get 28 million after all the Fed taxes. So as these lotteries progress, You just take 28.4% of whatever that your jackpot is, and that'll be your cash after all federal taxes. No state. No, in Florida, there is no state tax zones. But you could just take. You can see it's nice thing about 100 million. What is it? After all federal taxes? That'd be 28.476%. Yeah. That's what the lump sum would be. In round numbers.
Thank you to Jesse for allowing me to host and the whole Jesse Waters team. You can catch
It's 2 o'clock.
You could also say your annuity payment. What is that? That's like 1.5%. Yeah. 1.505. One and a half percent of 100 million is 1,505,000. There's a huge equation over there. But, you know, it's 1.5%. You can go right down the line here. When it's rounded to 10, you know, to $10. Always the last number is always a 0. The way I have it, the equation calculated. It's like minus, I call it, it's rounding, comma, -1. Yep. We can't see any formulas here, but that's it. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, the lights just went bright. Let's turn them down. It's late. I got 2 cats and a dog sleeping in there. So we have an A10 down and a F15E. And they have not found the second quarter. This was taken right off the lottery application that they have got approved by this, you know, state of Florida, got approved by Mega Millions people. So they publish, Mega Millions published this. I just did a print screen of it, added a red arrow, just to make it clear that Tuesdays, it's $100 million. Wow. In which you get, what? 28 million after all taxes. Remember? At 28.5%? Yeah. It's easy when it's 100 million because then it's just move the decimal point. So they're looking at rescue efforts for the crew member. This is Saturday late night or early morning, depending on whether you're an insomniac or you just work early. And you're in your truck going across America. You're tuned in to what do you call it? Turbo. No. Um, yeah, YouTube. YouTube Live. You can find me on YouTube. Of course, you've already found me on YouTube. Or you're not on Facebook because they've already bailed out 1 minute into the broadcast for some reason. I thought this latest edition would have solved that problem. Apparently it has not. But if you're riding across America and you got YouTube, you can run YouTube. You got an iPad and a clip on the side of your truck thingy. So you can have things going on while you're in the truck, bouncing around, riding cross country, delivering, 100 washing machines from Cleveland, Tennessee to somewhere in Colorado. Yeah. Someone's got to deliver those washing machines. Yep.
We go through what's called SEER training: survival, evasion, resistance, and escape. And then when you get into theater, you help us give us a more thorough and in-depth brief on what we're going to do in case of search and rescue.
So the TV, the news channel is abuzz with trying to find these pilots, that eject with these planes that get hit by SAM missiles. General category, SAM. Bob. No, SAM, surface to air missile. The shoulder mounted thing, put it up on the shoulder. They sight it. Simple. Very simple sighting system. And when you pull the trigger, where you have the bullseye, it's been programmed into the nose cone of the missile, and with heat tracking, it slides right up the inside of the engine and blows up the airplane, the wing. And if they know it's getting ready to hit, I guess they can push their ejection seats on impact. I don't know. You get whacked with one of those. You only got you got like 50 milliseconds to decide to eject or not. Or else the plane is going to start spinning with such rapidity that you're not going to be able to eject. So you got to hit it like just before. Now, what I understand with these ejection seats, they have battery power in them, and they're powering a GPS system. And so they can track the seat as it flies out of the plane. And then there's power to shoot, to blast the The parachute, which is all compressed in the cylinder, it explodes like a Roman candle, except instead of fireworks, yeah. Instead of shooting fireworks, it shoots out the parachute. Now, the pilot also has GPS attached to his, equipment package that he's got strapped into his front side of his chest. A communicator of some sort, like a super duper heavy duty iPhone type thing. I don't know what kind of device it is. But, ET call home, under very secure lines by the Defense Department. When their sorties are being flown over areas, they have these airplanes with the big round disc that's above the airplane. Got all kinds of antenna gear in there. Super high frequency bands that are reserved for the military. Looking at Flipboard. That's there we go. There you go. It's really quite good. Flipboard. It's an app. You want to download it into your phone, or even better, your iPad. You should have an iPad. You've got to have an iPad if you have an iPhone. Look at this device. It's a half-inch thick. Not a half-inch thick. It's 5 millimeters thick. Weighs about 1.25 pounds, I would say, if I had to guess. It magnetically attaches to the Magic Keyboard. It's a magnificent keyboard. Just the same kind of keyboard you find in Apple's finest laptops. Besides a magnificent keyboard with this touchpad, which is kind of like a mouse, except you just roll your finger instead of roll the whole mouse thing. Instead of squeezing a button, you just move and then just tap. So do whatever you want to do. You see my hand over here. I have an extra, what do you call it? Touch track thingy. So instead of trying to reach around and use this one, this connects to the MacBook Pro and it's Bluetooth channels. And I can do, see, I can operate the computer with this trackpad that's over here. Let me turn the lights up higher. And you can see, now you can see it. It's right up this square right here. Way up at the top here, straight. And can run my finger on it and hit control pieces on the system that's transmitting this to you. Yeah. Let me turn this down. Again, getting sunburnt. Well, my dog's still sleeping on the couch. That's a good sign. Could I actually go sleep in the bed and leave the dog to sleep on the couch? Is that a possible? I haven't been in the bed for ever since we got this dog. Because I hate to leave it alone. Such a young little bugger. Starting to grow a little bit, so that's good. Yeah. Anyway. All right, let's reintroduce the... Whoops, I'm on the wrong side. Come on, guys. I like to be right of middle. Swap cameras. There we go. So the way I have this thing wired up, Ecamm, ECANM.com. If you're interested in creating your own podcast, some of you would be great at it. You need a Mac computer and you're willing to pay $20 a month for the subscription service. And you download the software. It's on the Ecamm Live, ecamm.com. ECANM.com. Yeah. It's magnificent, I have to say. Having trouble keeping Facebook connected. I think it's a Facebook problem. I don't know what else to do in Facebook. I think I've paid up to a certain level. You pay for additional connectivity or whatever. It's hard to figure out where that page is. I think I found it. I think there. I'm being charged appropriately. It's just not working. I can't get just X to work either, or Twitter. Maybe it'll work with this new version. I'm gonna turn it on next time. So you may be able to see episode 585, 584 now. 584 late night. Yeah. There's a place when you look up your own results, So here's the new Attorney General, Todd Blanche. Now, he's been at Trump's side through all the bullshit Trump trials. Yeah. All the crap that the Democrats threw at Trump, all during the pre-election cycle of his current presidency. They threw everything they could legally at him. And because he's a billionaire, literally 10, 20, 30 billionaire, which is not the richest guy in the world, but he's certainly rich. Lives their lifestyles of the rich and famous. He is rich and famous. Yeah, God bless him. So here's the turn. So he used to work for Pam Bondi. Well, they just yanked Pam Bondi out of the Attorney General slot. And of course, Todd, he takes over as temporary Attorney General. And this is the official statement out of Pam Bondi's at AG Pam Bondi, Attorney General Pam Bondi. Yeah. That's her Twitter. She'll have to change that. She has 171,000 followers. You see that? 171.5 on the bottom. Yeah. Over the next month, I will be working tirelessly to transition the office of Attorney General to the amazing Todd Blanche before moving into an important private sector role that I'm thrilled about. Well, what is that? And where I will continue fighting for President Trump and his administration, leading President Trump's historic and highly successful efforts to make America safer and more secure has been an honor of a lifetime, and easily the most consequential first year of the Department of Justice in American history. Since February of 2025, we have secured the lowest murder rate in 125 years. Secured first ever terrorism convictions against members of Antifa. Shattered domestic and transitional gangs across the country. Taken custody of more than 90 key cartel figures. And won 24 favorable rulings in the Supreme Court. I remain eternally grateful for the trust that President Trump has placed in me to make America safe again. That's her. Created by her and her media people, you would presume. This guy is, according to great legal minds in Washington, Jimmy excluded, said he is not a fancy guy. He's a man of a few words. He doesn't get caught up in all the, and he has stood by President Trump all through all this years of litigation. So the head lawyers that really follow such things in Washington, D.C., which there are thousands of them, say that he may not be a man of many words, but as a prosecutor, he is deadly. You don't want this guy prosecuting you. No way, Jose. I think he purports himself very nicely, when he's standing there at the podium with the Department of Justice. He hasn't stood there. Well, Pam speaks first and he speaks second. That kind of thing, I believe. But they ousted her. I thought they'd do something with Hegseth before Pam Bondi, for God's sakes. She's a little, she's a little rough around the edges, maybe. Not quite as polished. And in control of herself. In dealing under congressional Q&A. I think Todd Blanche has a thicker skin. It doesn't show his anger on his shirt sleeve. So I think you're going to see a very attractive looking acting attorney general, or whatever they're going to call him, temporary attorney general. So I guess right after the they're not going to do anything until after the November election. And this is April. April to November. What's that? Jeez. Six, 7 months. They are not doing anything for the next 7 months. Guaranteed. Stay there. But after the November election, then maybe he'll. The question is, will they, right before the November election, will they have him confirmed by the Senate? I think I would. I don't know how long you can stay acting Attorney General. I think, if you have a Senate that's against you, they're not going, they're going to trash every pick that Trump comes up with. It'll be a terrible next 2 years if the American public doesn't keep the House and the Senate for Trump. Yeah, it'll be bad. The House has to go for Trump, then the Senate's got to stay with Trump. That would be terrible. We lost both. They impeach him 2 or 3 times. He wouldn't get anybody confirmed. He wouldn't get any judges confirmed. The country would just freeze. It would just freeze drain. It'd be frozen. So if the American people want to just freeze everything, you're not going to have an exciting economy if they give up the House and the Senate to the Democrats, because the Democrats don't know how to run anything. So you got a man who knows how to run the government. He's had 4 years of being the president, where he learned some lessons he'll never forget. And then he had 4 years not being president. And now he's 4 years being president again. So he's, it took him 2 years to run for president, so he got, 4 and 4 is 8 and 2 is 10. Well, so he's got 11 or 12 years of history of thinking about presidency. Wow. Saturday morning. Anyway, this guy should be your Attorney General. I'd confirm him right before the elections. Just get that done. So, because he's in an unconfirmed seat, requires senatorial confirmation. I don't know why. Shouldn't. But cabinet members, he's a cabinet member. He's in line with the presidency. So, keeps his nose to the grindstone and does what good attorney generals do, whatever that is. And it'll make your confirmation easier than trying to do it now. Could do it now, but why? Just leave him in office for, it's temporary for. You come up with a better candidate. The Zeldin thing, I don't like that idea, because Lee Zeldin is doing a great job with the EPA. You pull him out of EPA and put him in here, then he's got to get confirmed here, and now the EPA seat is open. And Lee Zeldin is really good at EPA. Those are the people that basically are last in line to approve, the permits for drilling, drill baby drill, and, dig baby dig, and whatever the hell you're doing. Lithium plants, new, fossil fuel distillation plants. Look at this. This was a December. You look on the very bottom of there. See, December 2021. I'm basically appealing to everybody. Buy gold. Please buy gold. Let's see if we can look at what gold was December 2021. Well, let's look it up on American Precious Metals. There's the app. It's an iPhone app. I've been buying and selling gold there for like 6 years. Here's gold. Went down $81 today. It's at $46.93. So let's look at the 5-year chart. Yeah, gold was at let's see. Let's go to all. There we go. How far back does that go? Yeah, there we go. 12/21. God. See right here? Wait a minute. 20.
Break it all down. Coming up on Hannity.
Right here. So we're right here in this slope right here. So all right, that's good enough. It's roughly $1,200 an ounce. There it is, $1,400 an ounce, right in this part of the slope. If you can see, you can't see my finger, but you can see the bouncing ball right there. I am sliding that with my finger. And then if you look at the figures up on the top, you can see the 12 a.m., of every day. You just slide your finger across there, and around December of that year, it was roughly $1,500 an ounce, and now it's $4,600. It raised to $3,000 an ounce. Crazy. I did everything I could to convince people. Let's go back to this right here. I am bullish on gold. I think gold is going to be the biggest reformer in 2022. You're going to break out on the upside. Even a potential 3,000 price target. It went to 4,000. Missed by 1,000. Oh, December 21. Yeah, $1,500 an ounce. Now it's $4,500 an ounce. That's a 300% increase. 300% increase in a precious metal in a 5-year period of time. Anyway, this is one of these Facebook things that reminds you, you know, what you were thinking about X number of years ago. I came across this post, the FAU4U post, on somewhere on Twitter, maybe, or YouTube. Anyway, here's our Easter dinner we had today. Marvelous. Yeah. Going that up a little bit. Yeah. Get the bunny rabbits down here on the bottom. Marilyn produces these menus. She's so attentive to our Easter dinners. Yeah. Who's down on the glazed carrots? Where were they? Had everything else crossed out. What else we have? Marilyn made starters, deviled eggs, stuffed orange peppers, strawberries, and brie bites. Yes, she did. I saw her biting them. Here's the new James Bond. Like it or lump it. They picked him out. 28-year-old. This is the potential Queen of England. Once King Charles abdicates the throne to his son is in focus there. They got all kinds of stuff hanging around their neck. Yeah, that's the monarchy. That's what you do instead of earning money. The English people like their monarchs, their kings and their queens. Keeps them stable, but it is expensive. We kick our servants to the ground. Mega Millions. $100 million. All right, sports fans. It's 2:40. I've had enough. I'm about halfway through my coffee. Using simple syrup. Yeah, it's good. I like it. Yeah. Instead of pouring the crystals and having them dissolve. Of course, the superfine ground sugar that I use is make my cardiologists hate me. Or my primary care physician, because my blood sugar is, Ozempic manages the blood sugar pretty good. But I went off Ozempic for a week. I just missed it, busy and around. So I skipped a week, so you kind of like missed it. So I got a refill on it, and I'm going half doses for the next 2 doses. And then I'll go 3/4 of a dose. And then a full dose, which is 2 milligrams. So, same thing with Marilyn. So we took half a dose last week. We'll step it up to 3/4 of a dose this week. And yeah, it's like 6 turns of the thing. So I went like 3. So I'll do like 4.5 turns to give ourselves, 4 turns instead of 3 turns. So the thing you turn to load the needle, load the dosage, as they say, yeah. That happens tomorrow. Yeah. Then we'll weigh in. The ancillary benefit of Ozempic is that it tends to produce a weight loss. You can lose up to 20-25% of your body weight. All right, sports fans. You all have a nice Saturday. It's pre-dawn, 2:42 a.m. Bye-bye.